before the world called her the Princess of Pop. Britney Spears was just a girl from a small town in Louisiana. Kentwood had one traffic light, one main road, and very few reasons to believe a global superstar could come from there. But from the time she could walk, Britney wasn't interested in ordinary life. She sang in church. She danced whenever music played. And by age 5, people were already saying the same thing. There's something different about her. Her mother believed it too, enough to drive hundreds of miles for auditions, talent competitions, and casting calls. Britney learned early that talent wasn't enough. You had to be relentless. At 8 years old, she auditioned for the Mickey Mouse Club. Producers loved her energy, but said she was too young. For most kids, that would have been the end of the story. For Britney, it was just the beginning. She trained harder. Voice lessons, dance rehearsals, acting classes. Childhood slowly gave way to discipline, the kind most adults would struggle to maintain. When she finally joined the show a few years later, she stood alongside future stars like Justin Timberlake, Christina Aguilera, and Ryan Gosling. Even in a cast full of talent, Britney had a magnetic quality the camera couldn't ignore. But no one, not the producers, not the audience, not even Britney herself, understood what was coming next. Because in 1998, a single song didn't just launch a career. It detonated a global phenomenon. Baby One More Time hit the airwaves, and within weeks, it was everywhere. The voice was unforgettable. The hook was unstoppable. But it was the image that changed pop culture overnight. The school uniform. The hallway dance. The direct, almost confrontational eye contact with the camera. Some called it provocative. Others called it genius. Either way, nobody could look away. The album debuted at number 1. Millions of copies sold in months. Suddenly, the teenager from Kentwood became one of the most recognizable faces on the planet. But fame at that scale doesn't arrive quietly. It consumes. And before Britney was old enough to legally drink, she was already carrying the weight of an industry worth billions. The world saw a dream unfolding in real time. What it didn't see was how quickly that dream was tightening around her. At first, the attention felt like validation. Sold-out arenas, magazine covers, screaming fans who knew every word before she even lifted the microphone. Britney Spears wasn't just successful, she had become the center of pop culture itself. But fame in the early 2000s was different. There was no escape. No social media filters. No controlled narratives. No privacy. Just paparazzi everywhere. Outside restaurants. At gas stations. Following her car through Los Angeles traffic. Waiting. Watching. Hunting for the moment she stopped smiling. The media didn't just document Britney's life, it dissected it. Every relationship became a national headline. Every outfit sparked debate. Every interview was designed to corner her into saying something controversial. And slowly, the questions became sharper. More invasive. More personal. Reporters asked a teenage girl about her body. Her virginity. Her breakup with Justin Timberlake. Overnight, America's sweetheart was recast as the villain of a story she never agreed to tell. The pressure intensified in 2004 when Britney made a decision that shocked the public. She got married in Las Vegas after knowing her childhood friend for just 55 hours. The marriage was annulled almost immediately. But the damage was done. The headlines wrote themselves: reckless, unstable, spiraling. What few people asked was far more important. What happens when someone grows up with the entire world judging every mistake in real time? Then came motherhood. By 24, Britney had 2 young sons. Instead of compassion, the scrutiny doubled. Photographers fought for shots of her holding a baby while driving. Talk shows mocked her. Late-night hosts turned her exhaustion into punchlines. She wasn't treated like a human being learning how to survive adulthood. She was treated like content. And then, in 2007, the pressure finally broke through the surface. A quiet salon. Clippers buzzing. Hair falling to the floor. When Britney shaved her head, the images spread across the planet within minutes. For many, it looked shocking. For others, irrational. But to those paying attention, it looked like a person trying to take control of at least one thing in a life where nothing felt hers anymore. Instead of stepping back, the cameras moved closer. The industry didn't pause. If anything, it accelerated. Because controversy sells. And Britney Spears had just become the most valuable spectacle in the world. But what happened next would change her life more than fame ever did. It would take away something most people never imagine losing. Her freedom. In early 2008, Britney Spears was placed under a legal arrangement most people had never even heard of, a conservatorship. Designed primarily for the elderly or severely incapacitated, it gave her father, Jamie Spears, control over nearly every aspect of her life. Her finances. Her contracts. Her medical decisions. Even parts of her personal relationships. On paper, it was meant to protect her. But what followed raised a question that would echo for more than a decade. If Britney was too incapable to run her own life, how was she capable of running an entertainment empire? Because almost immediately, the machine restarted. New album. World tours. Residency in Las Vegas generating hundreds of millions of dollars. Night after night, she performed complex choreography in front of thousands, proving discipline, stamina, and precision. Yet legally, she was considered unable to make basic adult decisions. Fans began noticing contradictions. She could headline tours, but reportedly needed permission for everyday purchases. She could memorize hours of choreography, but allegedly couldn't control her own schedule. She entertained millions, while living under rules few fully understood. And for years, almost no one publicly questioned it. Until the cracks started showing. Whispers appeared online. Then podcasts. Then organized fan groups analyzing court documents and social media posts. The message spread with growing urgency. Free Britney wasn't just a slogan. It was a demand. What many once dismissed as conspiracy talk gained legitimacy in 2019 when Britney abruptly canceled a major residency and disappeared from public view. Something had shifted. Then came the moment that changed everything. In June 2021, Britney addressed the court directly. Her voice trembled, but her words were unmistakably clear. She spoke about feeling controlled. About not being allowed to make personal choices. About working without the autonomy most adults take for granted. "I just want my life back," she said. For the first time, the world wasn't hearing speculation. It was hearing Britney herself. Public opinion flipped almost overnight. Celebrities voiced support. News outlets re-examined the case. The conservatorship that once seemed routine was now under a global spotlight. And after 13 years, the unthinkable happened. The court terminated the conservatorship. Britney Spears was free. But freedom after that long comes with a complicated question. What does it mean to rediscover yourself, when the world has been defining you since childhood? Britney's story was never just about pop music. It became a warning about fame, control, and what can happen when a person turns into a product. Because behind the lights, the tours, and the billion-dollar brand was a girl who once just loved to sing. And a world that never stopped watching.